Hello, fellow humans. My name is Dorothy Laxton, and this is Fostering Untethered Communication and Knowledge, an adventure in stimulating objective, critical thought, shining the spotlight through individual spectacles, putting it once again on the bigger picture and our parts in it. Searching for life beyond the lifestyles we North American urban dwellers have to choose to chase, encouraging all to participate in positive change.
It really is something when you sit and you review your life and you realize that in your youth, you were actually privileged to be in such social isolation. The gift of dissociation, the gift of being able to escape the quote-unquote real world that humans have created and allow yourself to find the all within yourself. My external environment wasn't a pleasant place for me to be. And as a teenager, not only at the dawn of my adolescence, and that is a time when a lot of, that's our window, right? Where we either connect or we get really confused by all of the bullshit that is floating around out there as white noise. Every spiritual tradition directs us to find connection inside ourselves. And we tossed out spiritual traditions in the 20th century because they were quote-unquote religions. And we throw babies out with bathwater. We needed to ditch institutions, not spirituality. We needed to ditch the institutions that ended up, instead of ditching institutions altogether, like we should have, and focused on spirituality and values and morals and other qualities of life rather than our physical existence only as the driving force of how we exist. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't have value in consumer culture. And that's a problem. It's not money that is the root of all evil, it's mammon, right? Our money only represents physical goods or some sort of tangible, visible, proven work. I will tell you right now, I have spent my life entertaining other people in public and spreading knowledge and inspiring people for free. Not a penny, except for when I busk. I've had people standing in lines tell me that, if I had one woman tell me if I had a TV show, she'd watch me. And I do it for free because, for one, I don't want to sell myself. Joy is, and thought and insight and inspiration and creativity and beauty are not things that really you should have to buy or sell. We, as people, are not things that we should have to buy or sell either. So this whole exposition started with me reflecting on all of the wonderful coping mechanisms that I actually managed to develop through my childhood and into my adult life, my early adult life. Like, I had my first trauma therapy when I was 15, and I trained as peer support in 1988. And I had my first real, like, therapist. That trauma therapy I had when I was 15 was a 10-week group. And then I spent my teen years basically being a support to peers who had difficult childhoods and families and whatnot. And I learned the value of sharing our stories and our experiences while our world more and more directed us away from personal experience to either living, the human experience vicariously through television shows and movies, through the spectacle. I just lost my train of thought. Our society encouraged us basically to stop paying attention to all of those things, to our natural connection, to the fact that we are parts of creation. No, we're apart from creation. In my lifetime, the final brick in the house of consumer culture was laid. And that fortress, it put us all in a dungeon of dependence. And it's so funny because one of the biggest social issues that, came up was we were like starting to publicly and socially be aware of mental health issues and stuff. Codependency. These things have been used by the systems that control us and have been controlling us since the beginning of the early 20th century. All of these wonderful baubles that they have sold us for our lives in the name of economics and progress, technological progress. What kind of life do you actually live? What is the quality of your life? When I was young, I was made to believe that all of this automation that was happening, all of this change, like I wanted to be on a farm. All of this technology was going to make our lives simpler. And I will tell you 100% it has not. And people are working longer work weeks, not shorter ones. And people are not getting mentally more well. They're getting less mentally well. Suicide rates are rising, not dropping. We need to start having real experience again. We need to start giving people's real experience, not the narrative, the time of day. This whole narrative thing is, it's how do people not see that we didn't get rid of religion? We just transferred it and ditched spirituality, the most important part of it all. We wanted to make changes and we went down all of the wrong roads in the 20th century. We need to get the hooks out of our amygdalas and critical thinking back in our lives, our individual lives. We need to start looking at the car in the driveway and saying, wait a second, the grocery store is really only a 10-minute walk. And maybe I should buy a buggy and start using that and my feet instead of the car. Why do I get in my car? To spend as much time finding a parking spot as I would just walking there. These are the kinds of decisions individual people need to start making. And that's just one. Giving a crap about what is being put into the minds of your children in school. I'm very grateful that when I made these mistakes things were still relatively unindoctrinated, but ideology has jumped out at the end of the first quarter of the 21st century. And ideological indoctrination has made a gigantic comeback. And it's still not spirituality. It's still focus on the physical being. It's not our souls we're talking about. We need to start talking about our souls again. And at that, I got cut off in my 10 minutes. The chickadees are now singing. The sun is rising. It's a clear morning. I'm going to go enjoy some of it. Look at the sky. Soak up some vitamin D. Hug a tree. And have a happy, happy day. Thank you very much for listening. Narrative bullshit. It's propaganda.